want to put, I think it was $25 million to the Chamorro Land Trust, exactly for what Chaluet is talking about. But, you know, I'm just going to say with the way the governor's treating the original landowners at Eagles Field, I can kind of like jump to conclusions and figure out what her attitude is about land or Chamorro Land Trust lessees, because it kind of seems like we don't really care so much about the so-called little people, which is unfortunate. But you know what? They ain't stupid, as you heard from those last few calls. They're definitely not, and they are paying attention. 748, someone else who's paid attention, probably didn't want to pay attention his last few days of leave, but, you know, it is what it is. The Mayor's Council of Guam, President Jesse Alleg. So did that conference, press conference from Congressman San Nicolas, did that kind of ruin your last couple of days of leave, Mayor?
No, not at all. Well, you know, I was not able to attend it because, you know, I mean, even though it was virtual, I could have, but that was just it was a medical appointment day. But I did hear it. You know, I was listening in, and quite honestly, my thoughts are if in fact the congressman's statements are true, then that's all we've actually been waiting for. It's just a breakdown of the you know, the money that's coming to us. And so it's going to be a year since I've been president, and I've heard the same thing about you know, the money commitment to the Mayor's Council of Guam. And so I don't doubt the administration's commitment to the Mayor's Council. I think my question is, what is coming, when is it coming, and how is it coming? And so there's a lot of talk about, well, this amount is coming for this project, this amount is coming for another project, but I'm not seeing anything in black and white, and I'm not seeing the total picture. I'm not seeing anything equal to 32 million. I'm not seeing anything equal to 17 million. Quite honestly, don't give anything to PD. If that's the case, you don't have to give anything to PD, but what about the other villages? You know? And let's deal with it that way. And I don't think it's about PD. And I don't think it's about me. I think it's just that perhaps that's just how the administration rolls. And if that's the case, then, you know, the people that continue to call us, the people that continue to need our services, you know, they're the ones that need to know. And they're the ones who we're answerable to ultimately. And so, yes, and then the money that we've received so far, I can only say that it's probably COVID pay. Even at that, COVID pay is the pay that our staff gets does not even isn't even close to what others receive. I mean, and it's because it's based on a percentage, and there's still, you know, our staff receive you know, a very minimal salary, and they don't get overtime. They don't pay, you know, there's no other type of differential pay for them, whether they work on Saturday, Sunday, after 5, before 8. They're here. They've been here, my staff at least, and no one ever complains about it. Well, we don't, at least. And so if the administration is saying they've been giving us money or been giving us money, well, yeah, we received COVID pay for, I think August was the last time that our staff received it. But since then, that was probably it. But I haven't heard anything. And yes, Angel, many can say that Angel Sablan, our executive director, has been included in the conversation, but it's the same conversation. It's the same conversation with the administration officials, but we still have not received anything. And so I did see Angel comment because I had asked the people inquiring to contact Angel because I was on leave, and yeah, that's it. You know, it's the same, but it's the same thing. We can change the way we say it, but it's the same thing. There's still no money. There's still no money. I don't know what else to do. I really don't know. And if the congressman, like I said, if he's correct in his total amounts and the possibilities of what can happen with that money, then perhaps they should just give it to the mayor's council and have the mayor's council be answerable for that money in return, like we always are. I mean, everything that we have is auditable, whether it's non-appropriated or appropriated funds. We're probably one of the government agencies, one of the only government agencies that had to submit quarterly reports, financial reports from all our appropriated accounts. I mean, when you think about our accounts, most of the districts get around $50,000 for operations, and the legislature wants to audit that $50,000 per office. So it's like, okay, well, if you want to do that, then just tell us what you need from us, but give us the money so that we can perform our duties. But I don't know. I don't know what else to do other than wait.
So no ARP.
And maybe it's another couple months, and maybe Congressman San Nicolas needs to announce that he's going to run for governor so that we can get the money. Maybe that's what it is. And game on, let's do it. I mean, if it's politics, if we're playing politics, then let's play politics. Congressman, just announce so that we can get our money, and then we'll race.
It kind of
about it.
So okay, I just want to make sure I'm clear. No ARP money.
How's that?
No COVID differential pay.
Not since August, I believe. No.
No ESF.
No, that's another thing. Sabrina, I was so excited to talk to you about it when I first got it, maybe over a year ago, where we talked about it. I mean, you didn't even want to talk to me about it because I think you already knew that we weren't going to get anything. And so you kind of we never really talked about it. And then maybe like a couple of shows later, we talked about it, and then you asked more about it. But it's like, well, you've done this long enough to know. But for me, I'm not new in the game either, but I would just thought, gosh, for after school support, summer school, activities for our kids during COVID. That was a great thing to consider. I mean, we, just like our Manamku, we were always considering safety, right? The PPEs, making sure that we had HEPA filters, all that kind of jazz. And of course, that was all incorporated into everything. But it's December, and we still, we haven't received it. And so, yes, the lieutenant governor did tell us, and they sent us the warrant letters and saying, this is your chunk of money from this portion or from this funding source. Great. Still not here. I mean, and how do you, and the thing is, the government of Guam, it's difficult to spend money in the government of Guam because we have to follow rules, guidelines, procurement guidelines. And so you're going to give us a large chunk of money at the last minute and tell us we have to spend it. We have a certain amount of time to spend it. Whether you tell us it's a year or 2 or even 6 years, it's still, there's still a process. And even to get a quote. So there was a GITA, and I'm just bringing it up because of all the money that we're hoping to get. GITA had this grant. They opened up some applications or allowed us to submit applications for the QC grant program, that $25,000 up to $25,000. We couldn't even get a contractor out to give us a quote on a small project, $25,000, less than $25,000. We had to push. I mean, it's like, so if we're granted that $25,000, we have to spend it within a year. Who's going to want to come out to quote us again because we have to follow a process? So it's like, unless the administration knows that they're going to throw us all these contractors and all these vendors, then great, and perhaps that's the case. Perhaps that is the case, that there's, they're going to release this money and they're going to say, okay, well, Mayor, here, you've got these heavy equipment operators, these contractors, these vendors, and they're ready, come and give you a quote. And that's that's our saving grace, and that's going to be the best part of it all. But at this point, we're going to be fighting tooth and nail to get vendors out. I mean, I'm rambling, but when we had the $20,000 for the senior centers to fix the DOI money, even at that, all the centers that had the $20,000, it was so difficult for them to get people to come out to have quote on their facility repair. Mm-hmm. And that's because either they didn't have the workers, it was during COVID, or it's crazy. So
how are your I know that your employees and the mayors as well, 100%, giving 110, 50% every single day. But what's the morale like to know that you guys have been kind of like rejected, dejected?
Well, we're hoping that. Well, we hope
neglected.
They listen to it, but at the same time, we hope they don't always hear that. It's not a positive answer. I have to say that they're doing okay. I don't feel like anyone in the council is upset and does not want to come to work. want to perform their duties. I think as mayors and vice mayors, we take care of our staff as best we can. Make sure that their morale is okay, and they want to come to work and do the service, perform the service to our people.
So you mentioned, you were off island, and you mentioned earlier that Angel was the one tasked to respond to the media. And in the response, he did say that mayors were assured they'd be getting $17.6 million in non-entitlement funds over 2 years. Is that an accurate statement? Is that what you've been hearing?
So that's what I've been hearing, but that's verbal, and that's what I'm saying is, okay, so give us a breakdown of how you're going to give it to us, because that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting to see. So how are we going to break down the 17 million? And is it all going to heavy equipment and operators? Is it all going to recreational facilities? What is it? How is it being applied? Mm-hmm. Because we've asked the mayors to come up with different lists on what their, different wish lists and how they want to use this money in their village. But we don't know how it's going to be transmitted to us, whether they're going to pay for it. And we're not going to see the money. We're just gonna send in our list, and they're procuring everything for us, or are they depositing the money into our accounts and we give an accounting of it afterward? Whichever way.
Mm-hmm. But that's just 17.6 million over 2 years. But then Angel also said that they won't get told them that while they won't get 32 million in county funds directly, it will be spent on a wide range of village projects. These wide range of village projects, 32 million, is that based on your wish list, or do you even know?
I don't know. And yes, I've heard that as well. But then that's what I'm saying is, I cannot see it, because Sabrina's telling me 10 million, Chris is telling me 5 million, Angel is telling me 7 million. Am I just supposed to count that up and say, okay, that's 32 million, that's 17 million, okay, we got it? But I'm not seeing anything.
I'm sorry, I'm just saying what Angel's saying, who is apparently talking
I was just
about
using your names as an example. I should have used other examples.
I'm not pulling this out of thin air. This is
no. I wasn't using your name. I was using it as an example. So what I'm saying is that different people have assured me. So since that virtual conference last week, I was hearing from different administration officials, because they do communicate with us, and that's not the problem. Communicating is there, but I'm just hearing it. And I'm hearing it from one person, one amount from one, another amount from another.
So they're writing a check with their dog that their mouth cannot cash right now. Oh, by the way, it's 8
then
o'clock.
what happens?
Sorry,
are you guys demanding, put it in writing? We need a plan. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that word? We need
Don't
something.
say the P word.
Tell us what's exactly going to happen. When are we going to get the money? Or are y'all just satisfied with waiting?
No, that's what I'm asking for, is a plan. I'm asking for a breakdown, because you mentioned it all. You know it all. The ESF, we talked about that. We've been talking about ESF. So is ESF a part of this 32 million or a part of the 17 million? Let us know, because I don't know. And that's just kind of what I'm waiting for.
I mean, God, it would be so easy, Mayor. I mean, like, if I was the governor, I would empower you guys. Hey, you guys know what's up here. 17 million, whatever, 50 million, let's divvy it up, give it to you guys. I mean, it's a happy ending. You know what your village needs. You know what projects are going to work at the village level. I mean, you guys are the mayors. But instead, it kind of seems like you guys are caught in the middle, and you can't really pick a side, because you know this election's coming up, and you know that it could very well be the governor versus the congressman. So you guys are in this terrible position where you want the money, you need the money, but you don't want to piss off the governor, because then you're not going to get anything. And then you also don't want to piss off the congressman, because he will never forget. So I feel for you guys. And in the meantime, it's getting you nothing. Whatever you're doing now, it's getting you nothing.
Meantime, it's the people that are suffering, right? It's our people that are not getting the services and not receiving the money that is for them. And I say for them because it's from roads to streetlights facility programs, right?
Thanks.
And so when we talk about other, like when Angel was referring to the 32 million in other projects. So if we're talking about streets and repair of those streets and gosh, I forgot the term I'm looking for, but for the streets, let us know too. So, okay, you're going to repair, you're not repairing everybody's streets in every village, you're repairing certain villages and certain streets, and that's part of that 32 million, if it is. But just let us know so we know, so that we're aware of it and that we don't have to, continue to bark up the wrong tree because we don't know who, we don't know who to ask anymore about the money.
I had a comment here, Mayor. This is relative to streetlights, Jotnya. This resident of Jotnya said that they contacted the mayor's office and they were told there's no budget to repair streetlights along the main highway and in Chalan Teleforo in Jotnya. So have you heard anything about that? I mean, you guys don't even have money for streetlights?
So I haven't heard anything about that specific issue, but the office's response about no money for streetlights is correct. However, there has been a request from Adelup to submit any new installation requests or any to follow up on any previous or old requests that have not been fulfilled, or any of those problematic streetlights that need repair or fixing for whatever reason. And I'm assuming again that it's part of ARP.
Yeah. But Mayor, can I just ask, is that the normal process? So when the mayors have streetlights that are out in the village, do they always have to go through Adelup? How do you normally do it in a regular year?
So typically when it's out, we go, when it's a burned out streetlight, it goes directly to GPA. If you're making a new request, a new installation request, it goes to DPW.
So it doesn't normally go to the governor at all.
No.
But now and that's what the problem is the governor has all this money and she's holding the keys. So now if you guys want a freaking street light, you got to go kiss the governor's ring. It's ridiculous. When in any other given year, you wouldn't have to do that.
Right, and if they're including the street lights amount for the installation, it's like $5,000 each. If they're including that in the money that's coming to us, let us know. Let us know so we're aware of that money being utilized for our village. So we're not saying we don't know, because at this point we don't know. Happy Monday.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh gosh. Well, it's December. Amidst all that, it's December. It's Christmas.
Let's switch gears. Let's get an update, Mayor, on the foster family program that you guys are doing, because I have seen some flyers around about that.
Yeah, so I know that we're certainly there was one informational meeting that was held at Harvest House, and the next one is going to be next month. And so I do know that there were quite a bit of interested individuals, and so we're hoping that more families and more individuals will come out to just hear what it is and what it's like to be a foster parent, or what they need to be a foster parent. But for this month, for Christmas, to kind of promote the project, we're having a blend display contest in each village, and the judging is this Sunday. It's funny because nobody's talking about it. And you know how that goes, right? And then I was talking so I was off island, and I was talking to staff, and they apologized because they said that it was, our Belen was on the front page of a newspaper, and I thought, oh, that's great. And so, but you know what? Hey, that's fine. I mean, we're not. But after that, I have not seen anyone else's Belen. So it'll be quite interesting to see what all the villages put out. I'm excited.
How does this competition work? Is it just the mayor's offices that have to be decorated?
Yeah, well, not the mayor's offices, but the village. Like, so the mayor's office, selects a village area that either they typically decorate for Christmas or that they can decorate for Christmas. So it's part of a larger display, a Christmas display, but the judging will only be on the Belen, simply because it kind of focuses on family.
Right, yeah. And Mayor, and I went around and did some deliveries on Giving Tuesday. I got to say that even though you haven't seen anything, the mayor's offices are definitely working on their displays, because I strolled through a couple mayor's offices, and that's what they were doing. They're like getting ready. So heads up, it's going to be tough competition this year.
Oh no, that's good. That's good. That's what we want. And that's the competitive spirit of the mayors and their staff is, nobody's saying anything. but yeah, they'll come out, and so it'll be nice. I'm excited to see it.
Right on. And then can we just get the plug one last time for the foster family thing, Mayor? Is there a number, some information that people hearing this can maybe?
Yeah. So we're encouraging anyone to just call any mayor's office to get information. We'll take your name and your number, and we'll pass it on to Harvey's House and to Public Health, and we'll get you connected to someone who can give you more information. It's really as simple as that. We are not accepting, in the Chamorro spirit, we've received calls to make donations, but we are not receiving. The Mayor's Council is not receiving donations, whether it's monetary or in kind, simply because our goal is to recruit interested or prospective foster families and foster parents. But if they do call for any kind of donation, we direct them to Public Health or to Harvest House or to the Chancery Office, so that they can make their donations there. So yeah, call the mayor's office, any mayor's office, to sign up for an informational meeting or get more information. It's as simple as that.
Before we let you go, I just wanted to follow up on something. The last time we got to talk to you, you were mentioning how, Agania Heights, they had to stop delivering food to the Minimco because the car broke down, one of their only 2 rundown old cars. And has any other mayor had to kind of stop providing anything or pull back because they haven't received any funding?
So I have not received any word as to any other mayor not performing that service, but I do know that everyone still has the same concerns, regardless of whether they continuing or not. It does. It makes a difference because we use our vehicles, and when you think about how many, there's over 1,000 meals that are delivered. I mean, that's quite a bit when you think about it. And some villages have to use more than one vehicle. As a matter of fact, there are some villages who are using personal vehicles to deliver. Right. So they're using personal vehicles, and we're hoping that they're keeping their mileage information, and we're going to see how we can get them reimbursed, because why should you use your personal vehicle to deliver a government service, right? But that's just what I'm saying. That's just what most of us do. We make it work. And unfortunately, Mayor McDonald, he's tried. When I first came, before I was mayor, Mayor McDonald always repaired vehicles. I mean, he always figured out how to make a vehicle work. So I can't say he hasn't tried either. So he's done his part, I think.
And also,
but no one else. I don't know of anyone else.
Are you guys still doing the booster clinics?
We are. As a matter of fact, we are. There's a whole flyer. I know it's this week. I know it's going on this week for sure, up through next week as well. But yeah, there's an entire flyer just for that.
Mayor, have you heard anything?
The time has changed. It's 2:30 to 6 p.m.
Okay. What about kid vaccines? What are you hearing just from people like in your circle, your constituents? Because the numbers not really, I think, where public health would like them. Of course, they're not doing the legwork and going out in the public and messaging stuff, but just your thoughts. What are people saying about getting the kids the vaccine? Just about vaccinating the kids.
I haven't heard anything. In the group chats that I'm in, I haven't really. Typically, residents will comment, and I'm in a variety of group chats. I haven't really seen anyone talk about that. No, I haven't heard anything. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for your time, Mayor.
Thanks, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Man, I'd love. You got a meeting with the Gov this morning? Okay, just checking.
I'll send you the stuff for the Christmas thing.
Okay. Cool.
Welcome back, Mayor.
Thanks.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Hit the ground running. Running downhill.
He's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, man, Bree, you know, it's funny that we talk about money. It's making me salivate the last couple hours because, you know, things have been a little bit hard. And just behind on the rent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where to turn to.
Well, the Department of Administration, they are administering the Guam Emergency Rental Assistance Program. This is
Say
the
what?
third, the ERA program. This is the third iteration of third